Give up staring at the meat section. The world's most productive protein isn't covered in plastic. It is not derived from cows. It also doesn't need costly feed or acres of pasture. This creature is actually ready to thrive in your kitchen right now, in the midst of winter, when food gardens are covered in snow and livestock are freezing. It feeds on the one item you discard each morning: grinds for coffee. Consider the ridiculousness of contemporary cuisine. 1 pound of meat requires 18 months of waiting, 2,000 gallons of water, and 12 pounds of grain. A bucket of trash, a little water, and 7 days are needed to obtain 1 pound of this winter meat. Its texture is similar to slow-cooked pork in that it pulls apart. It has natural ingredients that actually clean your arteries rather than clog them, and it contains no cholesterol. It is referred to as the poor man's steak in history. I refer to it as the smart man's survival pack. But there's a big catch you should be aware of before you start filling buckets in your kitchen. This isn't just a vegetable. It is an aggressive biological system. In the winter, when your windows are sealed tight to keep the heat in, this aggression can turn against you. If you let it grow just 24 hours too long, it unleashes a silent, invisible storm of particles into the air. In a closed room, this biological dust can overwhelm your lungs, leading to a condition literally called mushroom worker's lung. Now, that sounds terrifying, but don't let the fear win. We have been taught to fear nature, but we just need to understand it. The difference between a health hazard and a superfood comes down to a simple visual check I call the curl rule. By the end of this video, I will teach you exactly how to spot the curl to keep your air clean and how to turn your morning caffeine waste into a perpetual supply of winter protein. It's time to meet the oyster mushroom. Greetings from reclaimed nature. Let's start by destroying a myth. You have been brainwashed to believe that meat is the only real source of strength, that everything else is really a side dish. Let's examine the biology nevertheless. When you eat a steak, you are eating the result of a terribly inefficient process. Cows are biological machines that produce waste, 90% of what it eats, just to stay alive, to keep its body warm, to walk around, to moo. Only about 10% of the energy it consumes turns into meat on your plate. That is a poor investment in terms of survival. Now, look at the oyster mushroom, Pleurotus austriatus. This is not a plant. Photosynthesis is not used by it. Geneticists tell us that fungi are actually closer to animals than they are to vegetables. They exhale carbon dioxide and breathe oxygen, much like humans. Like shrimp and lobsters, their cell walls are made of ketone. You aren't eating a vegetable, you are eating a life form that sits on the border of the animal kingdom, and its efficiency is terrifyingly perfect. Biological efficiency is a statistic used in the field of mushrooms. An oyster mushroom can yield 1 pound of fresh mushrooms if it is fed 1 pound of dry straw or coffee grounds. The conversion rate is 100%. Even 200% was reached by certain skilled growers. Waste can be transformed into food by a biological alchemy without losing any mass at all. What about the quality then? Yes, meat provides protein, but it also contains a lot of cholesterol and saturated fat. In addition to providing a comprehensive protein profile, oyster mushrooms also contain lovatin, a secret weapon. Prescription medications that decrease cholesterol contain this naturally occurring substance. Therefore, this fungus meat actively works to cleanse your system while a burger clogs it. But why didn't our ancestors cultivate it everywhere if this is the ideal food, quick, inexpensive, and therapeutic? Why does it not appear in all history books? Because they were afraid of it for centuries. To be fair, they had a good cause. Most crops are divas. Full sun is necessary for tomatoes. Heat is necessary for peppers. Gentle breezes are necessary for lettuce. They all perish when the first frost arrives. The oyster mushroom is a soldier when the garden closes. In the wild, you will see them clinging to dying trees in late November, sometimes even pushing through a dusting of snow. While plants hibernate, the oyster mushroom's root system, called mycelium, is wide awake. It runs through the wood, devouring it from the inside out. There are specific strains, like the blue oyster, that actually prefer the cold. They thrive in temperatures that would stall other fungi. In fact, a cold shock is often the trigger that tells them to fruit. The drop in temperature signals to the organism, winter is coming. I need to reproduce now. So, while your neighbors are staring at their frozen, barren backyards, you could be harvesting clusters of blue-gray protein in your garage or unheated basement. But its resilience isn't just about temperature. It's about diet. The majority of mushrooms are finicky eaters. The oyster mushroom is the goat of the fungal world. It eats everything. In laboratory tests, oyster mycelium has been trained to eat cigarette butts, use diapers, really, yes, and even decompose discharges of heavy oil. Complex poisons are broken down and rearranged into edible, safe tissue. However, you don't have to feed it garbage. You've got something better. Grinds for coffee. A natural pesticide is caffeine. It inhibits plant development and kills insects. The oyster mushroom, however, is unconcerned. Caffeine is handled similarly to an energy drink. It colonizes an espresso waste bucket more quickly than mold can. It's the ultimate urban scavenger. Thus, we have a superfood that thrives on waste, combats cholesterol, and withstands the cold. This should be the most popular and least expensive food in the grocery store, according to logic. But what do you notice when you enter the produce section? Rows and rows of those white, round, tasteless button mushrooms, or their brown cousins, cremini and portelu. Why is the button mushroom better for you? No, it has less protein and fewer beta-glucans than the oyster. Is it easier to grow? No. Button mushrooms require composted manure and extremely specific conditions. The reason you see them everywhere is purely logistical. The button mushroom is a rock. You can toss it in a crate, bounce it around a truck for 1000 m, leave it on a shelf for a week, and it still looks the same. It is designed for the supply chain, not for your health. The oyster mushroom is delicate. It has a shelf life of about 48 to 72 hours. It then begins to wilt and lose its texture. The industrial food system cannot support it. It won't be turned into a commodity. Perishability is despised by supermarkets. Their profit margins are eroded by spoilage. They therefore made a decision. Because it's profitable, they choose to sell you the cardboard of mushrooms. Additionally, they did not include the steak of mushrooms. They made you believe that mushrooms are merely a rubbery topping for pizza. They don't want you to know that the real thing, the medicinal, meaty, high-protein powerhouse, can be grown for free at home, bypassing their checkout counter entirely. Here's the catch, though. You are avoiding the safety tests because you are evading the system. You become the farmer when you bring such a potent biological engine into your house. There are regulations for indoor farming as well. Do you recall the Spore storm? I cautioned you about it. I'll now demonstrate how to set up a coffee bucket farm without using your lungs as a filter. A laboratory is not necessary. A rule, some spawn, and a bucket are required. First, the gasoline is intentionally sterilized. A pressure cooker is typically needed to sterilize the substrate when growing mushrooms. You have a cheat code, though, if you consume coffee. When you make coffee, the grounds are pasteurized by the heating water. Use new grounds within 24 hours of brewing, according to the rule. Mold will grow there initially if you leave them for days. Ask your neighborhood coffee shop if you don't drink enough coffee. They will gladly give you this black gold for free, but they discard masses of it every day. The second step is the lasagna method of inoculation. Drill 1/4-inch holes around the sides of a spotless 5-gallon bucket. The mushrooms will erupt at this point. Online, purchase a bag of blue oyster grain spawn. Your seed is this. Now arrange it in layers like lasagna. 1 inch of moist coffee grinds should be layered. Layer 2, a sprinkle of mushroom spawn. Repeat until the bucket is full or you run out of coffee. Close the lid. To keep flies out while allowing air to enter, cover the holes with breathable micropore tape or just store it in a clean trash bag. The incubation is step 3. Put the bucket somewhere that is room temperature and dark. The white mycelium will pass through the coffee for 2 to 3 weeks, transforming the black mess into a solid white block. It is consuming food. Fruiting is the 4th step. Expose the bucket to fresh air and a little indirect sunlight after it is completely white. Every day, mist it with water. Within days, you will see pins, baby mushrooms, poking out of the holes. They will double in size every 24 hours. It is alien to watch. Now, the critical safety rule, the curl. The majority of novices injure themselves in this way. They want the mushrooms to get huge. They wait until the caps flatten out like pancakes. Incorrect. The mushroom believes its work is done when the top entirely flattens and flips upward. Billions of spores are released when it opens its gills. This is the spore storm that fills your room with white dust and clogs your lungs. When the mushroom cap's edge is still slightly curled, the fix harvest is ready. The curl at this point, the mushroom has not yet dispersed its spores, but it has attained its maximum meatiness. The key to safe indoor gardening is early harvesting. No spores, better texture, and 0 risk to your lungs. When you harvest that first cluster of blue oysters, frying them in a pan with a little butter and garlic, realize what you have done. You didn't go to the store. You didn't pay for inflation-priced beef. You took a waste product, something society calls trash, and you transmuted it into life-saving nutrition. The best survival tip is this one. While others are fighting over the last steak in the freezer aisle, you are quietly growing a renewable feast in the corner of your kitchen. Never again purchase their bland button mushrooms. Instead, show them respect, learn how to curl, and don't be afraid of the fungus. The free meat is real, and it's waiting for your next cup of coffee. I am the creator of nature that has been redeemed. Feed the soil, feed yourself, and I'll see you in the harvest.